All right, guys, so I want to do a recap of the main things that we talked about in our challenge meeting yesterday, and I just thought doing a video might be a little bit easier. So one of the main things that we talked about was how your body uses calories, like how your body, the outputs of calories. So the biggest way that your body uses calories, its biggest expenditure, is through your basal metabolic rate. And honestly, we can just call that like your metabolism. Everybody's familiar with somebody with a fast metabolism, slow metabolism. Kind of a mind-blowing number here, but this accounts for 70% of, I should say like 50 to 70%, like if you're a very sedentary person, you don't have any, I guess sedentary doesn't matter here. If you don't have much muscle mass, you're not a very fit person, which sedentary can lead to. Could be like 50%, but for fit people, it can be like 70%. So there is a range here, and there's kind of a range with all of these numbers, but just to get my point across, 70% of your calories you burn come from your basal metabolic rate, so a huge number. If you do some Googling, you'll find people that say that you can't control this number, but honestly, I think that's bullshit because all the stuff I see, it'll be like, oh, a huge determining factor in your BMR is your age, your sex, your body type, that type of stuff. But then almost all of these things that say this, the last thing they say is your body composition. And if you don't think that you have control over changing your body composition, then I'm not sure what to say. So I am of the belief that you can change your BMR through building more muscle mass, right? A lot of times people know that, simply put, having more muscle, you burn more calories. So that's really the goal, right? You can look at these other ones, which I'm about to dive into. NEAT, you can just think of that as any movement you do throughout the day that isn't exercise specific. So you just living your life. This is just what it takes to keep you alive. If you woke up in the morning and didn't move a muscle all day, you would need this many calories to just do this. So it's a huge number. This is you walking around living your life. This is digesting food takes quite a bit of energy. This is the amount of calories you burn just digesting the food you eat. And then this one might be mind-blowing for you. I know it says eat, but that E is for exercise. This is the percentage of calories you burn coming to the gym, working out hard for an hour. Now, if you're doing like extreme marathon training, sure, this number could be higher, but just on average, 5%. So the reason I bring this up is with this visual, you can really see that the biggest bang for your buck is increasing your metabolism. And we do that through becoming a fit person with lots of muscle mass. You shouldn't discount that moving around a lot does account for a good amount of calorie burn, but my whole point of sharing this is to kind of start reframing our mindset around exercise. I think a lot of people are starting to get this, but I think of it as like the 90s diet culture, like you're going to the gym to burn calories, or like, it kind of irks me when I hear people say like, oh, I go to the gym so I can eat what I want. Well, dude, 5%, you're not burning enough calories in here to really do that if we're just doing calories in, calories out. But what we do in here does build fitness. It does build lean muscle mass, and it contributes to this number right here, which is actually very, very significant. If you can go from your BMR burning 50% of your calories a day to 60 or 70, that's huge. So when we're training in the gym, we should be thinking about building fitness, building muscle mass, and how that's going to contribute to a healthy metabolism, not this calories in, calories out stuff. Kind of in that same line of thinking, how we consume food. What is your mindset around that? I look at food as fuel. It is a tool I use to make my body perform the way I want it to. Eat well lets you train better. The harder you train, the better you train, the more apt you are to eat well. And you just kind of create this cycle here. So what is eating well? I mean, We're talking about eating enough to train, to fuel better training. So you have the nutrients, you have the macronutrients you need, you have the calories you need. You're gonna be able to bring more intensity in the gym. You're gonna be able to lift heavier weights. When you lift heavier weights, you're contributing to this BMR situation here. I think it's almost easier to think of this when we think of the opposite of it, which would be like eating poor, not eating enough food, not eating good food. We train worse. We have low energy. When we have low energy, we tend to eat even less. Like, I have low energy, I didn't go to the gym, I don't need to eat as much. I didn't eat as much, my training wasn't that great, I don't feel that good, and we can just get into this kind of like negative feedback loop. So getting into this positive feedback loop of like, how do I fuel my body to get better workouts, lift heavier weights, perform better? This is where we want to be, because it contributes to this, the thing that makes up the majority of your calorie burning machine. If you have any questions, we can start a discussion, but this was kind of the main thing that we talked about during our meeting yesterday. So thanks, guys.